Hi, I just wanted to take a moment to talk about something that comes up in my sessions with teens over and over again. And it's the one thing that our teens really want us to do as parents, and the three things we do instead. And if you do this one thing, it's going to really transform the way you communicate with your teen and the way they communicate with you. If they communicate with you, I know what it's like with teens. Anytime that they share things with us, it's such a rare moment. So I want to give you some feedback and some insight into what teens are telling me about what they want. They really, really want from their mum, their dad, their carers, stepmom, stepdad, and so on. So the one thing that I hear that teens tell me that they want their parents to do, that they wish their parents would do, they really want mum and dad to listen. So when teens say to me, I wish mum and dad would listen, what they're saying is the moment that they try and talk to mum and dad, and I'm guilty of this as well as a parent, as a mum, I've done this many, many times. Us parents will do one of three things when our teen tries to talk to us about something that's going on in their lives. So say our teen comes to us with a problem or a statement or just a statement about how they're feeling, and it's not particularly positive, it's quite negative. The first thing we might do is try and fix it. So we'll leap in because our, protective instincts fires up and we leap in with a solution. So our teen might come to us and say, oh, I hate school, or the English teacher hates me, or I got into trouble today and it was so unfair, something like that, or something to do with their peers, so-and-so hates me, I've fallen out with so-and-so. And they'll say it in that typically kind of dramatic teen way, or they might be more quiet than usual, they might be more withdrawn, and instantly your parent radar is on the alert. My child's in danger, my child's hurt, how can I fix this? How can I sort this out? It's instinctive, isn't it? From the moment our children are born, that instinctive protection that we want to give them, it kicks in and it changes our dynamic with them. The thing about fixing is they're actually not asking us to fix things for them. Sometimes they may be, but really what they're doing, what they're saying is, I feel awful. I feel pretty rubbish. And they're just venting. And what they really, really want is empathy. And empathy is just about, hey, I get it. I see you. I see what you're saying. I feel what you're feeling. I hear what you're saying. And I'm just going to be in this moment with you. I'm not going to fix it for you, because the more we can empower our teens to know that they can fix their own issues, the more confident they're going to become. If we're always stepping in with our own solutions to their problems, they then start to have this belief that I can't fix my own problems, mum and dad do it for me. So allow some space for when they've said something like, oh, today was horrible, or they make this statement about how life is really horrible. And, I'm not just being glib here, it could be something serious, but allow that space for them to express their feelings, and think about what you would like if you were feeling rough and feeling bad and you just wanted to talk to somebody about it. How would you want that person to respond? You'd want them to be empathetic. You'd want them to stand by your side, not face you and give you a solution. So think about that. The second way we parents respond to our teens when they tell us something, that's troubling them or bothering them. Now, we don't do this consciously, but because life is so busy, sometimes we might ignore it. We've heard our teen complain so many times. We've heard them talk about the, terrible school or the terrible lesson, or how they've fallen out with their friend for the umpteenth time. And we're busy, we've got work, we're making dinner, we've got other children, whatever it may be. Life is busy and we don't mean to ignore. It's just that it's become part of the kind of routine. We know our children, we think we know our children. They always come home and complain about school. They always, moan about this or moan about that. And so we might go, oh, that's, oh, never mind. Or we'll say something, but they'll know that we're not listening because we've got one hand on our phone, or we're cooking, or they know that we're miles away. And they're guilty of it too, aren't they, our teens? They don't listen to us either. So, and think about how that makes you feel. So when our teens say something, stop, put whatever you're doing down, because they do it so rarely. If you're the parent of a teen, you know, a typical teen who rarely communicates anything more than a grunt or whatever it may be, if they've taken this moment to talk, stop and see this as a rare, precious moment that it is, because they grow up fast and we won't have those moments again. Put whatever you're doing down and listen, pay attention to what they're saying, pay attention to what they're not saying. And again, then empathize. Maybe ask some questions like, you know, do you want my help with that? Give it back to them. Make them feel that they're in charge. Do you want my help with that? Is there anything I can do to help you with that? Or are you just trying to, do you just want me to listen? Sometimes you can say that to them. Do you want my advice or you just need me to listen? The third thing that we can do as parents when our teens say something to us that we don't like, especially if it's about their opinion of us and how we parent and the things we do, we might get defensive. So it's very easy to get defensive because our teens can be quite hurtful sometimes. They can say things like, I hate you and I don't like you and you don't care. You never help me. Or, you know, when they accuse you of having a favorite child and it's not them. And they'll say these really hurtful things. And we'll respond by getting defensive. We'll take it personally. And you know, it could be, you could feel hurt and you might do a really good job of trying to pretend you're not hurt, but our teens can see it. But it might be the other extreme. You might do the, you know, feel very emotional and cry. And then what I hear happen sometimes is a parent might turn to their teen and say, how could you say that to me? Don't you know that I love you and I've worked and I've worried about you every single day of your life? And we tell them, we let them know what we've done for them and how dare they say that to us? Because, you know, that's so disrespectful. Well, they're not trying to be disrespectful. Maybe they're trying to, sometimes our teens will come to us in quite a reasonable way and ask for us to change our behavior somehow. And if we're taking it personally, if we're seeing it as a slight against our parenting, that's never going to get us anywhere, is it? If our teen comes to us with something that they say that we're not doing the way they want them to, and it's a perfectly reasonable request, even if it isn't a reasonable request, take a moment, breathe and say, what are they actually asking me? Is this a reasonable request? Are they just venting? Detach yourself from this being criticism. They're just communicating and their brains aren't fully developed to communicate in the way that we might communicate as adults. So it might come out quite awkward. So don't take it personally. In fact, I would say that's the number one rule for everything your teen does. Do not take it personally. It's not a reflection of your parenting. Goodness knows we try everything to keep our teens happy. They just don't know the half of it, do they? But don't take it personally. Try and be detached and say, what are they really trying to tell me here? Are they just trying to be reasonable, but going about it the wrong way? Is there some merit in what they're saying? Could I be different as a parent? Could I try and change? Now, that doesn't mean being a doormat. It just means thinking about the situation and thinking, is there room here for us all to grow a bit and to be flexible and bend a bit? Parents, it's not about being rigid. It's about constantly evolving and growing and meeting your teen halfway at least. So those are the three things that parents do. There are probably more, actually. You could probably write in and tell me, email me, message me, tell me the other things that us parents do that, you know, are probably not the thing that our teens want us to do, which is listen. Our teens want us to listen, actively listen, see them, hear them, listen. And if you can practice these three things and stop doing those three things and practice that one thing, I'd really love to know how you get on, actually. I would love for you to tell me if that makes a difference to how you communicate with your teen and how your teen feels and how you feel as a parent. Okay, you take care. Bye-bye.